Everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Stuart, Victor Echo 9, Charlie Foxtrot. A rare video. We're recording this video at night. It's just after 8 o'clock in the evening here. It's a beautiful evening here in the Canadian Maritimes. Got the lawn all mowed and trimmed some trees today. Did a bunch of non-radio stuff. Anyway, I just want to recap an email conversation I had in the last little while with the regulatory guy from Radio Amateurs of Canada. It's travel season. A lot of Americans are coming up to Canada. They're doing POTA, whatever they're doing. They're putting ham radio stuff on the air here in Canada. So it's a good time to remind our American friends traveling to Canada about the rules operating here. And for those who may want to travel down south this summer, the rules for that as well. So we all understand that Canada and the United States has a reciprocal agreement. American amateurs can come up here and operate. Canadian amateurs can go down to the US without getting any formal paperwork. Just pack your radio gear in your car and away you go. But it's not that easy. For you Americans coming up here, the correct way to identify, and you must identify this way every single time, it's your call sign / Victor Echo number. So you're coming to New Brunswick to enjoy our beautiful climate here and our beautiful nature. Want to do some POTA parks here in New Brunswick, and you're coming from, let's say, the 2 call area, and your call sign is Whiskey 2, Whiskey, Whiskey, Whiskey. So you're coming to New Brunswick. Your call sign would be, once you cross the border, Whiskey 2, Whiskey, 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 / Victor Echo 9, or Portable Victor Echo 9, or Mobile Victor Echo 9. Not Victor Echo 9 / Whiskey 2, Whiskey, Whiskey, Whiskey. I hear that all the time. Please, 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 when you travel to another country to operate ham radio, understand the rules before you go. Super, super important. It's a Google search away, folks. Find videos like this. So the other thing that the regulatory guy and I were talking about, and by the way, Canada, unlike the United States, is very organized in our call signs. If you're a Victor Echo 9, you must live in New Brunswick. If you're a Victor Echo 3, you must live in Ontario. You can't have a Victor Echo 3 call and live in New Brunswick. It's just not allowed. Okay, so back to the next part of the conversation. I think we all understand how the call signs work when you're traveling. But it comes down to operating rules. So you're a general. Your allocation on 20 meters is 14,225 to 14,350. That's where you can operate sideband. Here in Canada, we can operate sideband from 14,112 to 14,350. So does that allow you, the U.S. amateur with a general, to operate sideband on 14,140 while you're visiting our great country? The answer is no. The most restrictive rule or regulation takes precedence. So what does that mean for you? You're a general. You're still restricted while you're in Canada to 14,225 to 14,350. Or if you're an extra, 14,150 to 14,350. Just because I can operate sideband on 14,140, while you're in Canada, you cannot do that. Now, let's say I'm traveling to the United States and I want to go on 20 meters. Now, in Canada, I can operate 14,112 to 14,350 on the 20 meter band, sideband. Can I go while I'm in South Carolina, for example, visiting my cousin in Myrtle Beach? Can I go on 14,140 and start calling CQ while I'm at a park or a location in Myrtle Beach? The answer is no. Remember, the most restrictive rule trumps everything else. Takes precedence. That's a better word. Let's say takes precedence over everything else. So just because I can operate sideband on 14,140 in Canada doesn't allow me to operate sideband on 14,140 in the United States. Why? Because the extra, which is my license is equivalent to, is allocated from 14,150 to 14,350. So I can only operate sideband while I'm in the United States on 14,150 to 14,350 because that is the most restrictive, and that takes precedence. And that would be the same if you're traveling to another country. Let's say you're going to Australia or India or somewhere in Africa. The most restrictive rules win. And very, very important, I don't know how this works outside of Canada, but make sure you do your research, because some countries you need to have a SEPT agreement. In the case of Colombia, you got to go through a bunch of paperwork. For Cayman Islands, for example, you got to apply for a special call sign, and sometimes there's a lot of hoops to jump through. Make sure you understand you just can't take your radio to another country and get on the air, especially like Mexico. Mexico doesn't allow foreign nationals to operate ham radio inside their country borders. I bet you didn't know that. A lot of people don't. So make sure you do your research. Well, let me restate that. The last time I did my research, that's what it was. It may have changed. I don't think it has. Make sure you do research before you get in a plane. Throw your radio, your battery, and antenna in there, and think you can operate while you're visiting another country. Because you may be in for a rude awakening, especially if you don't get the proper permits. Can end up cost you thousands of dollars in fines. I'm Stuart, Victor Echo 9, Charlie Foxtrot. See you guys in a future video. 7-3 for now.